Hey, what's up? You're hanging with the Niner Nut episode 37, and tonight we're going. Well, it's nighttime where I am. 3 hours ahead of you all on the West Coast. Lucky you. I'd rather be you guys on the West Coast than be on the East Coast like me. But that being said, we're talking about yesterday's victory against the Carolina Panthers, in which the 49ers whipped their ass all over the field. Let's just talk about real quick. Just it was an absolute classic 49er ass whipping yesterday. Everything running according to plan. The offensive machine running on all great engines. The defensive machine just absolutely dominating the game from the first snap. You knew that was going to happen. You knew we were going to dominate this game, but I don't think anyone knew to what degree we were going to dominate. And I just want to give my hat off to all the guys who have just stepped in lately with all the injuries. I mean, there are so many guys that have just come up so big on the defensive side of the ball. It's ridiculous. Charles Omenihu, Drake Jackson doing great yesterday in the absence of Ricky Armstead, Hassan Ridgeway in the absence of Javon Kinlaw, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, if I butchered his name, had a hit yesterday that, damn, that I jumped out of my chair at. I had to rewind that shit. He had a big game yesterday. Talanoa Hufanega, another great game. Just the defense is playing on another level, man. And my hat off to D'Amico Ryans. Gonna be a head coach next year for sure. Love all you guys joining the live feed. Any comments, any questions, hit me away, dude. We talk. Um, yeah, man. Listen, D'Amico Ryans, I think if I'm Carolina, I'm looking into just snagging him for next year because he's a defensive genius the way he's coaching this team. I mean, they're playing for him at another level. You could tell they love playing for him. It's such a good camaraderie because he was a player at one time, a very good linebacker. If any of you guys remember his playing days, I do. Playing for the Houston Texans and the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a very cerebral linebacker, very good. And he's obviously transferred that over to the defensive coordinator position, in which he's doing a phenomenal job in the in place of where Robert Saleh once was. Hat off to Robert Saleh for doing a wonderful job in New York so far, 3-2. If you guys haven't been watching New York Jets, I'm sure some of you haven't been. I'm on the East Coast, so I get a chance to watch them a lot. I watched that game before I watched the 49er game yesterday. Salah's got them playing very much like the 49ers were, that camaraderie with the players that he had, especially on a defensive side of the ball. I'm really happy for him. The Jets are a legit team in the AFC East. Sauce Gardner, Zach Wilson looking pretty good. Breece Hall, Michael Carter. Hat off to Coach Saleh. I'm really happy to see next 49, always a 49 part of the staff doing well. But getting back to our Niners, listen, we rolling, baby. We rolling. We rolling. Ain't nobody going to want to deal with us, okay, if we keep this up. Let's just get into the let's break down the stats from yesterday's game. As I had up on the I broke it down a couple times, a couple posts. First of all, hat off to Tevin Coleman. Great move by Shanny getting him back. I loved him when we had him. Obviously, Shanahan has a very deep history with him in Atlanta, then in San Francisco. And then he goes and plays for Robert Saleh, right? And then he comes back to us as a time when we needed another running back. And again, he did a phenomenal job yesterday, man. Yeah, dude. Listen, this is going to be a tough game this week, and I know you're going to laugh at me because it's the Atlanta Falcons, but I see this as a trap game. I wanted to get to this later, but you asked a great question. You made a great point, but listen, Arthur Smith is a very good coach. He has that Atlanta Falcons team playing very well for a team that is very depleted at various positions. Marcus Mariota stinks. Okay, I don't know why they haven't made the change yet to the rookie quarterback, but for some reason they're going with Marcus Mariota, and he's exactly the Marcus Mariota that has been the same for the last couple of years. I don't know what happened to him after his rookie season, but he stinks. He was no whatever he was supposed to be, nor was Jameis Winston for that matter, two quarterbacks that came out at the same time. But that being said, Arthur Smith has this Atlanta Falcons team playing very good. If you watch that Tampa Bay game, for a lot of the game yesterday, Tampa Bay just couldn't get over the hump and couldn't put them away. Their defense plays really hard. They play really hard. I don't know why I don't see we don't see the rookie quarterback. We don't see a change. But hey, look, I think that this is a game we can't take lightly with the injuries that we have right now. We got to make sure we put our foot on this team's throat early on and keep it there. I don't want to have like another Denver Bronco thing going on, but we'll circle back to the upcoming week next week. Just breaking down yesterday's game. I mean, we beat them in various categories. We had more first downs. We had more total yards. We had more pass rushing yards, 153 to their 64. Anytime we run the ball really well, we win the game. Anytime we shut down the opposing team's running game, we win the game. It's always the way it goes. And anytime Jimmy G plays really good like he did yesterday, we win. That being said, we were equal in passing yards, 244 apiece. Big interception by Mosley, unfortunately, who we lost for the season. If you saw that injury, I had 2 ACL injuries in my life. I tore both ACLs playing basketball. I tore the right one going up for a layup. I heard the explosion. I thought it was a drive-by shooting. I ducked down on the floor. My boys were like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Did someone just take a shot at us?" They're like, "No." I said, went to get up, and I noticed the top of my thigh sunk into the bottom of my knee because my ACL stability was gone and my knee blew up. The left one I did a couple years after that. I tore the left ACL playing basketball. Again, this time my brother heard my knee snap from across the gym. I went to the same surgeon who repaired my first ACL. He literally looked at me coming into the doctor's office and he went, "You tore your other ACL." So I know exactly how that feels. When he was grabbing both sides of his knee, I was telling my pops who I watched the games with yesterday, I said, that's either an MCL or an ACL. And I kind of feared that it was going to be an ACL just by looking the way his knee came down, man. Sometimes it's one of those things, and it's not so much the pain, but the feeling of knowing you tore because you kind of know something really bad happened to your knee. You just don't know what it is because you get over that shock of the pain, and then it's just, damn, I know this can't be just regular. So I really feel bad for Mosley, man. But you know what? He'll get that repaired right away, as I heard he was going to, and he'll be back ready to go next year. He's such a valuable cornerback to our team. That being said, we also lost the great Jimmy Ward, broken hand. According to the reports, he played through it, and now I heard he's going to have surgery. Hopefully that won't sideline him too long because I love having him there. He's like a general back there. But again, this is why we have all these other players stepping in for the injured players that we haven't doing a damn good job. My hat off to that whole roster. Big 6 sacks yesterday. Charles Omniahu, Drake Jackson. We got after Baker Mayfield's ass. Baker Mayfield, I'm sorry. Listen, all due respect. But if that guy's a first-round pick, if that guy's a first-round, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, that I'm the next Mary Poppins. He ain't no first-round pick. And I'll say this, and I had this in one of my posts. What are the odds that the Carolina Panthers have 2 first-round draft picks who were drafted in the same round, in the same year, and they both suck? Go figure. Hence be why Matt Rule got fired today. Sorry, but watching that game yesterday, that team had no discipline, looked close. The defense looked pissed, okay, which is really sad because they have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, Jeremy Chin, Burns, Brown. Matt Rule did not deserve a 7-year contract to begin with. Obviously, he's gone. But look who their offensive coordinator was, Mr. McAdoo from the Giants, another schmuck who deserves to get fired as well. I know they fired their defensive coordinator as well, I believe. I believe so. They should fire McAdoo too because they all suck. That team is garbage. Okay, moving on. We held them in time of possession. One thing I didn't like about yesterday was the 9 penalties, 64 yards. That's not us. We can't have that many penalties in the game. It's not what we do. Less penalties. We need more positivity. But I will say this, just looking at the stats, get Jeff Wilson the ball more. The guy is a bell cow. He's a beast. He's showing why he's been a part of this team for so long. He deserves the ball more. It's not a thing against Mitchell. It's not a thing against anybody else. I think Jeff Wilson Jr. deserves to be the starter, okay, the way he's running the ball, obviously. Like I said, Tevin Coleman stepped in great job. Jimmy G, 18 of 30, 253, 2 touchdowns. I like what I saw from him. Again, when Jimmy G plays good, we play good. When Jimmy G plays good, we win. If you saw that game yesterday, that's where Jimmy G is his best. When he's got to, and he was under duress yesterday. He was under some duress, but he was poised. He threw a pass to Ayuk. It was right on the money. I think it was that I forgot the name of the pattern that he threw it to him, but it was a bullet right on the money. Didn't look like he had a lot of questionable passes yesterday. Looks like the last 2 weeks that he's really knuckled down, has a better hold of the offense, has a better hold of the players. And I think that the more he keeps playing all season long, obviously it's going to be better because he didn't have a chance to get with them that much in the offseason with the shoulder surgery and him repairing it and then some. But when Jimmy G plays good, we win, man. That's just the way it is, okay? So my hat off to him. GK, 5 catches, 47 yards. It is his 30th birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday, GK. Brandon Ayuk, 3 catches, 58 yards. You know, the stats may not always be reflecting how good of a wide receiver he is, but you, the best fan base in football, in sports, you know, like I know, that Brandon Ayuk is very valuable. He makes big catches when he has to. He's a very good route runner, has very good hands. On any other team, okay, he's an absolute stud first wide receiver. I love having him. He's so valuable. He's going to come up valuable even more and more as the season going on. That being said, Jennings, okay, another guy, big, tall wide receiver, always shows up when we need him. Very clutch, very underrated. We are so lucky to have 4 solid wide receivers, and I'm using one of them as GK. Again, the depth is there. The depth is there. So, people really have to, who aren't Niner fans, have to start recognizing this team for what they are, for the great, a great bunch of talent that we have, the underrated players that don't get the recognition they deserve, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which you're now starting to see who are filling in for starters are doing damage. And it's amazing how I see all these outlets now going into the Troy Polamalu, Talanoa, Huffenega comparison. We as Niner fans knew that for the last 2 years. So it's amazing how all these outlets start to catch up to us when we're playing well. Too bad they can't stick with us all season long because Huffenega will be a Pro Bowl and All-Pro at the end of this season. Another guy who had a great game yesterday. I mean, every week you hear the commentators mentioning his name more and more, so that's always great to hear. 2 guys that are just, again, 2 juggernauts back-to-back, all linebacking corps. Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner in the absence of Shaziz Hashir have played. I mean, they're 2 of the best linebackers in football, okay? I mean, it doesn't get any better than Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. They're tackling machines. They're like 2 generals out there, especially Fred Warner. He's just a commander. He's such a great athletic specimen. I really like the way he's dropping back into coverage. I really also like the way he's just getting into, the offensive backfield and disrupting the hell out of things. I mean, he's putting sticks on people. It's not even funny. Dre Greenlaw too, man. Dre Greenlaw can put a stick on your ass. So these guys are playing lights out. I mean, this is the best I've seen them look. They look like a duo now that have had the right amount of time to blend and play together. And it's only going to get better as the season goes on. And then there's the defensive backfield. I mean, Shavarius Ward looks like he's worth every penny. I was critical of the money they spent on him when they signed him, but he has played lights out great. Tashawn Gibson Jr. playing great. Hassan Ridgeway stepping in really well. I like what I see from him. Kevin Givens stepping in nice. We held them. Speaking of which, I hope Robbie Gould is all right. I believe he has a knee contusion. I felt bad, man. It looked like he really couldn't. He couldn't just balance on that knee yesterday when they wanted him to come back. You don't want to lose a player like him. Who's so valuable. Let him get better. A knee contusion, a contusion of any kind, can never be taken too lightly because there was probably a lot of swelling around the contusion, and being on the knee, it is a very sensitive area, especially if I think it was his kicking knee. If anyone has any other news on that, please let me know. I don't think it was on his plant knee. I think it was on his kicking knee. When it's on a kicking knee, obviously, it's going to be a lot more sensitive. So hopefully, reports say they were going to start trying out some kickers this week. So hopefully, if they can't get Gould to go, they'll have someone fill in. Don't want to lose him, though. But listen, this was a classic 49ers win all around, man. I put up the stat that we are tied with the lowest, giving up the lowest amount of points on defense in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills. If you've been following the Buffalo Bills, they are by far an absolute juggernaut of a team right now. I haven't seen a team look this good in so many years. I mean, Josh Allen is playing like otherworldly. It's so easy for them. And the funny thing is, other than having Stephon Diggs, who's probably one of the best wide receivers in football, he's nailing everyone, especially this Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is a stud show. Okay, I think he had clearly way over 100 yards yesterday on only 3 catches. So that Buffalo Bills defense is amazing too. But to be in the same place with them in terms of giving up points, listen, like I said, the way things keep going for us, we have to keep this momentum going all year long. I think that if we keep this momentum up right now, you're going to see, statistically speaking, Jimmy G's best year since his Super Bowl year and better. I think you're going to see, if Jeff Wilson continues to be the starter, which I hope, clearly over 1,000 yards. I think you're going to see Nick Bosa definitely have a high in sacks. I think Samson Ebukam is going to definitely be a double-digit sack guy. I think Drake Jackson is good for 5.5 to 6 sacks. I think Charles Omenihu is probably good for 7.5 to 8 sacks. Hopefully, we get Ricky Armstead back soon, and he, comes to do some solid work as he's done the last couple of seasons. So, and Talanoa Hufnager, I mean, sky's the limit for this guy. We don't know what this guy. I mean, again, I haven't been this excited about a player in so long. The last guy I can think of, and I know it's a cliche, is Troy Polamalu, because I was a huge Troy Polamalu fan, and I wasn't even a Steelers fan. But Troy Polamalu was the type of player that exuberated enormous amounts of talent, and I want to say, a cerebral, quality cerebral football play, which is very rare. And Talanoa Hufnager is right on that path. I mean, you see him becoming a juggernaut, blowing up backfields. You see him getting after the quarterback. You see him causing disruption in the offensive backfield. So this guy, is just going to keep on coming all season long, So, again, with these injuries, man, I want to see. Obviously, we want to see a lot of good things come out of this. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We're down Mosley, we're down Gould, we're down Jimmy Ward, but everybody else is going to step up, I think, and do damage and just keep it coming. Game balls yesterday definitely go to D'Amico Ryans, definitely goes to Jimmy G, goes to Jeff Wilson Jr., definitely go to Tevin Coleman as well. Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner get a game ball from me. As does Mr. Mosley, that interception, man. Nice pick, bro. Nice pick. Game ball to Talanoa Hufnager. Can't say enough good things about him. So, great win, man. Hey, let's keep the momentum going. Atlanta is nothing to be shy about. This is a trap game. We really got to see what happens during this week with injuries. We got to put our foot on Atlanta's throat and beat the living shit out of this team. I want to see a blowout. I do not want to see a close game, because this is a trap game in which we could lose, especially with the injuries we have. So let's see what happens during the week. All the Jimmy G haters can kiss it, because he's doing damage. Any questions, any comments, always hit me up. I will be coming back at you guys this week with some more 49er content. Love you all. 9 and Nut is out.